Welcome to SSM Podcast, episode number 1. SSM stands for Structuring Society Through Music and Art, and I'm your host, Sfiso. Here we are having our lovely guest, Mr. Msiza. How are you, Mr. Msiza?
Good afternoon. I am good, and yourself?
Wonderful, wonderful. Let's not waste no time and tell our viewers, let's give them a short brief of who is Sfiso Msiza before we touch the SSM part.
Okay. I'll try to summarize.
Please.
Sfiso Msiza. Sfiso Msiza, man, it's just, I like saying a young man from Soshanguve.
Yeah.
I was born in Soshanguve, Pretoria. So I actually started Ndebele. So I'm in Ndebele.
Can you still speak Ndebele there?
Yeah.
I doubt.
So I was there for 3 years, then moved to Soshanguve.
Yeah.
And then from Soshanguve, I went to primary school, went to high school like everybody else. But I was fortunate enough when I started high school, I got introduced like everybody else. I did some karate, I did some tennis, I played tennis, I did a bit of boxing for like a month. Then I did music. I got introduced to music. I used to see this love of music on TV, so I did that. Actually wanted to be a chartered accountant, so I grew up.
Okay.
Then at some point I ended up in music, with a passion of music. But yeah, it's just some young man from a Soshanguve who came to Joburg and fueled passion to do what he does.
Beautiful. Okay, with what you have mentioned, you speaking from being an accountant, that was the passion you had.
Yeah, that was the...
What gave the fire to the music where you ended up having to select the music part of it?
I think for me, music, it came from a young age. I think from primary school, I used to watch orchestra. You know, when I was growing up, especially Magu High School in the olden days, we used to watch TV, not December.
Yeah.
You'd have this drunken boys choir, you'd have orchestra. But again, mostly the contribution was my church. So the church I came from, in your Apostolic Church, you'd learn at an early age to play a recorder, to play violin. They do classical music. Yeah. So I used to watch this concert. I used to enjoy this concert. So and when I was growing up, I was telling my mom, no, one thing is over the music company, music. So I think it fell from there. Then I fell in love with music. Out of everything else, music was number one. So I fell in love with music and said, no, this is what I'm going to do. Yeah, accounting would say it's more, when you do career guidance, chartered accountant. It was more that. But I think music came from the passion. Internal years.
Wonderful, wonderful. And then with that being said, what inspired you to move from the passion of music and actually starting the SSM? What inspired SSM to come alive with its founders? Yeah.
Now, I think for me, just to let me give a short background. So with me, just to make an easy understanding. So I started, as I said, I did my music. When I was grade 8 or 9, I started now teaching recorder, introduced to classical music and everything like that. Then I used to travel. I used to walk about an hour, 30 minutes for my lesson. It was
before we go to the travel part, sorry, let's retract. How was it like teaching your first student?
I was young. But I think for me it was exciting.
Yeah.
Apart from anything else, because I remember most of the students were older than me.
Yeah.
But because I loved this thing. So when I was in class, I said, no, you're very good. So we used to say, no, you're very great. So when do you have passion to teach? We can all teach other students. And also I was going extra miles. It is set class in it, then we do good. Then those who don't understand after school, this guy can
passion
teach.
Actually, because if you didn't have passion for our viewers, such things you wouldn't be able to accomplish. Because now in my journey, it's like that. It's a matter of passion beside what you're gonna get at the end of the day. But that's beautiful. So moving from that, now kia qala SSM.
Yeah.
So the name SSM, Structuring Society Through Music and Art, like who came with the name? Because me knowing you, not viewers knowing you, I was thinking, I'm cool to my initials were
Sfiso Msiza. No, the time I wanted to just give a bit of a preview on the journey. Because the journey, what happened is that I did music, as I said, part-time.
Yeah.
Then I taught music. So I fundisa mabopane. Ubaba Mdluli waqala orchestra in the year 2000. We used to perform in the church in Limpopo and everything like that. Then when I got to grade 12, I went to apply as a chartered accountant. I went to SAICA, I a chromatic test, I passed them. I have vets, I apply and everything like that. So the day I went to vets to go check, they said you can only be applying a vets or UCT certain for SAICA to fund you. So I went to vets to check, vets, but nope. Saika, but they've got my name to say these are the students who are introduced to vets. So that failed. That failing, but I was in pain. I went home crying and everything. Told my mom. My mom worked Virologs. It's a firm by Zamalog. Then there, a company Abisida, where we are now, Marriage Institute, before it was Cedar City campus, they funded them with logs. So Baba Pama log, but no. Ubani umntwana wakho bambuza wante supervisor umntwana wakho passile matric athi but you wanna pass it. So they wrote a direct letter to the CEO of Cedar City campus to say now I'm a student bangfag. So the next day I went to school. Then at Cedar I was doing a Bachelor of Business Administration degree, but within the first year I was playing trombone now, so I took my trombone. Then I was studying business. So within business, I said, no, I want to do a music business. So I learned about different types of businesses. So before, we used to call it SSM Music School. So I went to the sports and culture coordinator. I had to know, I want to run a music school, teach people music. They can pay 60 rand to contribute to whatever. Then I started the SSM Music School. So I started training people in music a bit. Then later on, when SSM closed and everything changed, it was 2008, I think 2009. I said, no, I want to build something. So I went to consult. I said, no, I want to build a company, but I want to leave a legacy. Because for me, I'll tell you a story another time, but it was very difficult to access just to music. That's why I used to work an hour, 30 minutes, because you couldn't find anywhere. Now it's better so way to. But go to social group and say, I want to learn a violin or clarinet. There's nothing like that. So it was difficult. So I said, I want to do something like this to give it for free. But at the same time, I want to make a living.
Obviously.
So the confusion was there. PTY, LTD, SSM. So it came with, no, I want to leave a legacy. I want to leave a legacy. Can I make something like a Sfiso Foundation or someone says that? Like, no. It should be bigger than me. It's not about me. Because I met somebody and he told me about social capitalism, Professor Theo van Wyk. He said social capitalism is planting a seed to plant a tree, which one day you might not even enjoy the shade of it. To say, what can I create which will live long after me? Then,
and I've read that line before.
SSM.
It's for people who actually understand the meaning of true life, like life, where you plant a tree knowing very well you're not going to benefit, but
somebody's going to. So it was there to say, SSM is fine. I want you to have something of me, which is meant, but I don't want you to stand for that. Then I grilled and said, no, the only thing I know is music and this passion for music. Let me use it to empower other people and other young people. That's why I said, rather we structure society through music. So that's why we went to structuring society. Before the arts, it was just music. So when it started, it was just music. That's why it was SSM, structuring society through music. Then as it grows, somebody adds, no, man, you're doing this thing, man, I want to do arts. Then we then added the music and arts. So that's how we came about that. This is the only drive or vehicle we can use to structure the society and bring positivity to these young kids through music.
All right, wonderful.
So,
all right, wonderful. With that being said, with everything that you are mentioning for Abantu Abapegele, even our viewers who would wanna maybe embark on the same journey, what would you say are the strategies you used in accomplishing the listen to both funa for SSM, having to get student failing and not failing? What strategy were you using in a formal sense, or were you just passion driven?
Yes. So I think what I always say to young people is that be passionate. You need passion. Passion is number one, but your passion must be fueled also by education. If I didn't do a Bachelor of Business Administration degree, I couldn't run this music business. If I did international ICT. I did 5 international IT license certificate. I did my CCNA and I did my Network Plus, everything. But again, it helped me at a later date because when COVID happened, I had IT skills to create virtual lessons, to do whatever. So I'm saying that be passionate. As an artist, you can be passionate and be artist, whatever. But I'll say to artists, don't always look at just being an artist. There's a matter of saying, as an artist, at some point you must sign a contract. At some point,
and you need to know what's written on the contract.
No number. So I'm saying, so passion is one important thing, but I'm saying number 2, train and educate yourself. There's free short courses. There's YouTube. There's whatever. Don't just focus like me now. We're running SSM as an institution. But if I didn't have the qualification I have, and I just knew music, I was just going to be another artist looking for the next gig. Then you're just sitting there. So it's always that one that pushes you is like passion, but then educate yourself. Then from there on, networking, we network.
I hope people that are listening, education is very important. I know with the youth of today, we have that stigma, we can just cap it and move forward. And with the road Namenguya, I've seen a lot of youth whereby they were not educated with what they are doing. As you said, like if you're an artist, you will only be looking for gigs.
Yes, and just
not looking at on the ground base of being an artist. Because being an artist, you are a business yourself. As much as you converted yourself into a full business. That's beautiful, sir. And with that being said, SSM, how many centers would you say it started with to where you are?
Okay.
Because, there's a build-up with everything.
We started. For me, it's been a journey and a half. I think when we started with SSM, for me, I think the structuring, I'll get to it later, but started around 2015. That's when the structuring.
Yeah.
But at least because I was studying business, I learned business, registered in 2010.
Yeah.
But initially, I didn't know the dollar element skill. So it was me giving it for free because as a so good as a patient, people don't have access. So I've taught all over. We've taught the Nelspruit. I've taught Lyndhurst was our first center. Alex. So I started in Lyndhurst. I taught even as a Bethlehem, a Free State. I went to teach. So I was teaching everywhere until in 2015 where we started now staying in Soweto to say now I need to build a proper structure going forward. And in all this other time, when you do music, it was a side hustle because I did my degree. I worked call centers at Vodacom. I worked at Standard Bank. I went to work Dimension Data Internet Solution as a network engineer. That's my last job until one day I woke up and said I resigned. Then I went to music full time. Then I was serving stuff. But after all of those, when I've decided to say, no, let me resign, I want to be on this full time, then that's where we started building. So apart from the many, what we have now, Sakaluk build a Soweto, build a Protea, partnered with the Soweto Theatre, Sabangase Jablani. We built it Mbalendle, the center now in Mbalendle, which is currently running, combined with Middlebank. So that's Middlebank and Windbank. We're combining those centers. We had two centers in Soshanguve because I wanted to also give back at home. So we did 2 centers in Soshanguve. Now like Joburg, we've got a center here at Maharishi Institute. And now we've got another center in Nelspruit we are building up. So we are growing bit by bit.
Wonderful. And then can you elaborate more on the impact that you are having or doing to the communities that you tend to visit or have centers? What would you say the impact as SSM, like music and art, has changed maybe people's lives, or what has it done like that you have seen that people maybe they are not aware with the things that you do?
Yeah, we've done quite a lot, because I think for me, as I said, everything came from empowerment. Starts from empowerment. There's other companies that told you about Inspires. I used to run mentorship program. For me, it was not the initial goal of SSM was going is where we take somebody, put them in, train them, but also help them to be employable, put them in a place where they can be employable. So through this program, we've mentored a lot of young guys. There's some guys about from the TUT, about KK, I always speak to them. They're gigging now and making some money. There's Umosa who came to this program through auditions. Waketa Wayo in Rhodes University. Now he's doing his final year in music in Rhodes University. So there are students which we've got here who come in on a daily basis. Again, we've got students who are sitting at home, no job, no nothing. From time to time, they come in, they get gigs, some are paying gigs, but we want to make it constantly. Given a contract in the future, you've got an employment and you can go perform. So we link with corporates to try and get them employment. So through our empowerment is that to say, we've got so many young kids sitting at home and they don't know what to do, or they're passionate about this, but we align them. But not only, as I told you, education is important. As we are sitting at Maharishi Institute, there are some who've got grade 12, but there are students doing music. But we align them to Maharishi Institute and they go study for a BBA degree. Then they have got a Bachelor of Business Administration degree. So it's about empowering the young person. So we've empowered quite it's a long list. I can give you more and more examples.
Yeah, I've seen it. I don't want to say a lot, but I've
including
seen
the employees who are here.
Talking about employees, I've seen that you are exercising gender equity when it comes to your workspace. Yeah. What strategy do you use to make sure that is implemented? Because most companies would say, yeah, we employ women, but when you come there, it's only gents and stuff. So how do you maintain that?
Yeah, I think for me, no shade to the gents, but I think, as we always say, women are multitaskers.
Yeah.
They're much better when it comes to multitasking than males. So obviously, when you're running something like this, you need people, especially in entrepreneur. If you're starting off, you don't have, Makali company is not like you have a marketing manager one, a finance one, you don't have singularity.
Yeah.
Your marketing manager is your financial admin, is your what, you're multitasking.
Yeah.
So through that empowerment is to say, you need to empower them. And again, we've got more females than males. Because we can't debate it. We've got more females than males even
at the
end of the day. So that means the more you empower women, the better it is. So for me, now in my multiple growth, because I have people who know how to multitask. So it helped me a lot. So but again, it was not for me when I was employing, especially on all the guys I've employed before.
Yeah.
It's not on skill. Because sometimes there are people who get degrees but you're sitting at home.
Yeah.
For me, is your willingness to learn. And I look at your heart and your passion and your energy.
Yeah.
Once you've got all of those, and then I can say, and you're willing to learn, how about you changing, and you become even more creative, then I'm more interested in you. So there's a lot of young people. I know people always say, but I'll tell you, there's a lot of young, talented people out there who've got so much passion and so much skill. So I work with all of them everywhere. So for me, SSM success, most of it comes from the females we have.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And still on that, with employing people beside the gender of female and male, do you have a structure? There's people who might be watching and they wanna join maybe SSM with certain skills that they might have. Is there maybe a human resource structure in place that where this is where they can go to get these opportunities or come in contact with you?
Yes. No, great. So we do have a bit of a structure. As I've said, myself as the CEO and founder of the organization, I've got a human resource person who runs the human resource manager. Actually, she's my wife, so it's the family push is gonna. But again, she's my wife. Does not calculate. She had a human resource degree
before.
Before I would do die. Obviously, family business. Then I was next in human resource. Then I put you there. No. She studied and had a human resource degree. Then she came in and worked on human resource.
And with that being said, sorry to cut you. When you're starting a business, it's hard to actually separate friendship and family.
Yes.
How did you manage to maintain that no, this is strictly family? I mean, this is strictly business. You need to have a certain degree. The reason I'm asking you, I'm also embarking in the journey of business. So I tend to come across such challenges whereby you need to draw a line to somebody that who's closer to you. No, okay, you can fit, but maybe no, because of these 1, 2, and 2. So how do you filter that? So
I think the one thing which contributes, let me start here, it's important also for young people to have mentorship. I started by mentorship. Mentorship is important to have somebody who's traveled the journey. So I've been sitting with my mentors and they will teach you that at some point you need to be firm. Business is business. Because if I can sit here and say, okay, because you are my wife and we are running this business, as you won't have bread on top of the table. So business says, this is the work you are qualified with. That's why I'm saying, put a high standard. You've got a degree in human resource, you can be human resource. Then if you don't have that, whether you are a family or not, you can't go be an intern or do something which is equivalent to what you've studied for. So give person an accolades they have. But even if I give you that, the strictness is now, we had, I think the first few years was a bit of a challenge. But after that I said, this is clear. If you go and work somewhere else, and find another job. But when you are here, you understand how the system works. The fact that I can be a CEO, because you don't agree with it, it's business. You are a CEO at home. I'm your cousin or whatever. But when you come to the workplace, we need to feed, because what I'm feeding you now is as a person to be to the next person. Because sometimes I always say we limit also because mom treat anjalo. That's why then you push this relevance of course. Then you've got people who are unqualified who can't do the job just because they're family. But if you are family and I teach when you do it right. Now manje I've got so many family guys I've put to the school. Like I've got Umshana Robotil, my sister's kid. Yeah. He's studying his degree. I didn't put him in the business. Say, hey, go get your degree first. For now, when I want something on an event, I was at 30 tomb and most of them I don't even pay him, but you must work your way through. Yeah. So you must teach them. It's important to teach them. Because you need the other family members. Because I'm an entrepreneur. Yeah. I always say, you would rather ask me for go to ngokuthenga listoko so something when the business no go to tell imali mabaza kimi bathi ngicela 200 no I won't give you but mangazuthi wazi ngifuna ukuthengisa ama cream ngicela ungithengele istoko ozowenza njani ngiyenzela i-plan then shaba ngizokuthenga istoko so it's to teach that mindfulness of relationship with even the family members, everybody, to say have a sense of entrepreneurship and business into you. Ungabe umuntu ocela nje kuphela and you wanna receive for free. And you know family does that. And
hence I was asking you, how do you draw that line?
Become firm. And even them you tell the family member to no, if they were mabangafuni, I'll help them, but they'll write a CV and apply somewhere else. But no.
That's beautiful. And then as an organization with since Nkale that year that you told us, how do you deal with shortcomings or downfalls? Like, there's stumbles along the way. How do you deal with those as an organization? And how do you motivate your staff if it happens that it kind of affected your staff too?
I think for me, attitude. Your attitude. There's something we were even saying today. We are attending one of the graduation performing there. It's the same thing. As a CEO, my job, I always tell them to say, if somebody says, oh, we've got a problem here, then that's fine. I'll still tell you to be solution driven, but you must accept your job is to solve problems. Problems. If you don't solve problems, you won't grow. It's like more about to and now you're in boxing or whatever. You're gonna find an issue the younger opponent you're shy. But the next time you must cheat because the next opponent is bigger than this one. So it's always bigger. So that means you must keep developing yourself and giving your challenge. So business is the same thing. If namhlanje be struggle with us now 1 rand is tomorrow it must be struggle of 10 rand. Then tomorrow it must be a struggle of 1,000 rand. Then at some point it's a struggle of 50,000 rand. It's still going to be problems, but at different levels. It's not this, and that's the same as life. What you're dealing with now in your life, I'm sure 10 years ago, responsibility. Now you're at a point now, hey, I must think, hey, I've got a child, I must go. So they always differ, but problems always there. But all I'm saying is that for me is to say, I love problems and challenges. But every time I solve it, when I look back, at some point, SSM at some point, office. At some point, people were working for free. At some point, they were getting about 500 a week or whatever, a month. At some point, we get... So it grows. Today, we've got 22 employees, which we're paying. And now we're trying to manage it. My problems now are minimum 50,000 a month. At some point, SSM was 500 for the whole month.
That's beautiful. That's showing growth.
So if you see that, you're inspired. Because if you say, I was 50 rand, man says for a million. That's right. So for my father to buy big instrument, you know. SSM, I never thought we will have big instruments. My recorder was 20 rand or whatever.
And I was about to ask you about the instruments of roughly, even if not roughly, like as a person, let's say maybe they wanna also start maybe a business of music, like same genres, orchestra and stuff. If you can just break it down for them, how much does it cost to buy an instrument?
So for anybody, I would say is that but a journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. My play till you must you want not we're not at the level where we can say our budget for instrument we need about 2 million rands. We're not there. But I'm saying that you start small, as I've told you. The stuff like recorders, people start there. It's like a 50 rand a record. You start building with recorders. From recorders, you fundraise. The people we do a lot of fundraising. We do a lot of donation asking. We do a lot of rental instruments. Then you say, okay, I can start with violins because they're not so bad. You come with that. Then you look. But at the same time, you look at balance. Oh, okay, then I'm going to need that on my chair. Okay, I'm going to need trumpet. So you chew it as it comes. But nature supports you. It's consistency and pushing it. But actually instruments, the most expensive instrument we have in the orchestra is the tuba. Tuba costs about 45,000 to 60,000 rands. We don't have that money. The cheapest would be the violin at 3,000 rands. Even people don't have 3,000 rands. So it tells you, you must make sure your product is so good. It's so good that it's well covered. I say to young people, something like this, you don't have to study for it. We just worked on the, go to Canva, take pictures, put them there, do this. They create this thing, so printer. You've got banners, you've got structure, you've got business card, you've got a website, so that no one to donate, to check up. Yeah, it's
there's a bit of legitimacy.
Then I think about it's for money, 50,000 or 10 my instrument or 10 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, sebenzela askakali marasip. Must I click 50,000 is a instrument. But I say to young people, don't wait. The other thing we did as SSM, like I was working somewhere as an IT engineer, took part of my salary to invest. Most entrepreneurs will tell you that you need to be the first investor.
Yes,
for most of the years, I didn't have a salary. I just took the money I have just to keep it alive. But when you keep it alive, build a structure. Once you have a good structure, then you can start marketing for people to fund you or support you or anything like that.
I hope people that are listening. Yeah. All right, that's beautiful. And then talking about giving back, there's a point where you talk about giving back to community. Let's talk plug back, give us a bit of a sense of what's plug back, that initiative that SSM has.
I didn't explain the full SSM, but that's fine. But in short, SSM has got three departments. One is the music center. The music center is we train young people music, like how to learn violin and everything like that. And again, we give an administration fee. The cheapest person who can pay is like 150 a month. The highest about 350 a month. And trust me, go find out how much. Another parent was calling me, that thing's on music, about 2,000 a month. And I was like, I did to raga. Because we try to raise funding for that. Then the other department is the art center. The art center deals with theater, and acting, and we've got young people who come and teach us that. Then the third element you're speaking about is Plowback Center. So a Plowback Center, before SSM Morongiti, maybe Zalwe, both at the same time, as I told you my story, my first biggest concert I did, it was 2009, which is Faith Alive Music and Arts concert. I think you attended, the one
I
last
did
time.
attend.
So Faith Alive started in 2009. I had this thing. We went to perform, as I said, Nobabum Luli Summer as an orchestra at an orphanage. You saw these children, they don't have food. Sometimes they go for days without food. And I wanted to do something for them. So I did Faith Alive. Faith Alive was instilling faith in the artists. So you'd get different artists. Plus, me being pushed. I being like Skolweni. I think Johannesburg. I Googled, but second biggest organ in the southern Johannesburg City Hall. It's here. And City Hall, higher government, it's space. Then I initially got the venue. I had about 105 artists. The choirs, everything. But then I also asked the university to give me a bus to fetch the children for Kabalazan in Northwest to bring the orphanage kids. So they came, we did a concert in them and raised money for them and stuff like that. So that's how Plowback started. And then I got somebody to know, I've got this passion for children. Can you create for us a program which will focus on them? So we did a program, a Plowback Center, which looked at study and career guidance. That's why we take guys from university by my orphanage, and the motto was, even though I'm an orphan, I can still be a CEO. So they can come and monitor them. I've got needs and necessities, which is your basic. Everybody does that. So land go but my motto is simple. I don't want old clothes. I talk to either whatever clothing store to say, can you find us whatever, even if but they're brand new to give these guys, whether you keep or whatever, so you'd get those donations to give. So that was needs and necessities. Then you had events and celebrations. So now we'll celebrate their birthdays, we'll celebrate their events. So pro soccer, we did JJ and JT birthday celebration. So January to June, all those shy passions. We did one Kensington Park, and JD is July to December. So, and once a year I'll take them to a camp at Hapororo. So it was just a program created to plow back, to give back to those kids who don't have. So SSM then ran that program here, plow back. We're still pushing it, but business, as you said, the challenges there, but it's still there. They hard to say one day it will still push. But that's how the plowback came about and how it runs. But apart from the orphanages, as I said, I'm doing it also as a way through Maharishi. You get guys who I'm from a degree. I know Maharishi is a connector. Oh, there's something.
How did you partner with Maharishi, if you don't mind me asking?
Maharishi, as I said, for me, God sent. So I was there at home, it chatted content, didn't work, and I like to my mom, I know music business, for this degree. So I went and did my degree, as I told you. It was Cedar City campus before. So that's why to the run by Dr. Telly Bletch as the CEO. I think for me, everything stimulated from there. Because from that, he used to come every morning as a recital. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It's not in some of you, it's in all of us. So we used to recite it every time, but at some point it got to you. And Mangza figure, fellow social varsity. Where's that? Masida City Camper people, what was that? So more figure there, you learn, you're just sitting in your corner for like 2 months, 3 months. And until he said, no, jump into what you are passionate about and push. Then I started joining the choir. Then I started being busy. Recorder, my fashion show. I'd go play a record and record. So through Cedar, at a later date, Cedar collapsed and closed and whatever. Then my Vala, Teddy then started Maharishi Institute, where we are now. So basically I've been with them ever since being a student. From my first year in Figala, foundation phase in the year 2005. So then I've been with them ever since. So I just find them after high school.
What a journey. That's beautiful. And then again, I wanted to ask, with celebrating cultural backgrounds or indigenous art as SSM, what initiatives do you do around those times? Let's say maybe it's Cultural Day or Heritage Day. Like how do you showcase such indigenous cultures to the community, that regardless that we tend to perform? Because I see your performances, it's a certain level, but to the community and allowing or accepting the cultural backgrounds of people who have joined your team, how do you showcase that? Do you have a celebration that you do when it's those times, or it's always reflected in every time wherever you go?
So, as I said, our schedule is back to back. But I think if you've come to some of our concert and listen to our concert, we've got classical instrument. Most people, when they see us, they expect you to just play your Mozart, your Handel. But because we know culturally we're Africans, if you come to even some of the concert you came, we're playing Jokoya How. Gospel songs. There's a song with you, Sedilaka. We play what the community understands, and you play stuff like about they used to say colored. We play your Tsansang, we play your Dikomo, which you do Guma wedding. So our music is very wide and open, about pata but at the same time, then you want us to play classic, yes, we'll still come again and play your classic as you need to. So by that, we embrace all cultures to say we will rat out the fela from the community. We play sometime pop, we play jazz, we play classical. One, that's the first element. But the second element, again, as you say, performance. So every time there's about Human Rights Day, whatever, there's always Summer Arts Festival. Unfortunately, we didn't make it to Cape Town in September. We were supposed to go to Cape Town for Heritage Festival last year in September. And even going there to Cape Town, we had partnered with Dr. Jerome Achet, who's doing a fashion show where they were showing blankets Zabasul. So it was a cultural event, so we were going to be performing there. So almost every time there's something, we are there to perform. So, and we like partnering and networking. That's why we would partner with different people, play at different institutions and stuff like that. But we're always big and open for culturing.
That's that's great. And then how do you, as you said, networking. Who taught you how to network? Because the way you network, the way you're speaking of these partners, as you're speaking of them as if it's just a guy next door. So do you need a skill to be able to network the way you do? Because I tend to look how you network. I'm like, I'm cool, like Bambi.
The question are leaders born, or are leaders do they get to you go to school to be a leader? But for me, I can say this is two things. One, you can learn the skill of networking. But I always appreciate to say, at a very young age, as I said, Nasima Harish, when I came, I was taught to understand purpose. What is your purpose? Keep understanding your purpose. What is it? If I need to make an easy example to say, be aware of oneself. And that's what they teach you. Teach you to consciousness based to say, be aware of yourself. And when you're aware, you go back to the Bible, because they always say this thing: one gift, three, 5. But how do I know I have 5 gifts? But it's being self-aware. Yeah. So me being self-aware, I think one was saying that I know there is this energy I've got in terms of natural leadership. There is this energy of being able to talk. There's this energy to push your passion and stuff. So then I developed concepts myself. So I used to develop concepts. Another one I had was Lebon Inspires. So just to speak, that's how maybe I can tell you about my networking. Yeah. So I developed this concept in mentorship. We looked at 4 things. The first thing was entrepreneurship, which is creativeness. Before you can do anything, you need to have an idea. Yeah. So you start first to say, there needs to be an idea about you. Who am I? What do you want to do? Once you've got, okay, this is what I want to do, an idea, you need to move to the last level, which is leadership. I can now go to, I'm a salesman, but says I must lead somewhere, I must take a step forward. You can't sit here and I'm a lead, but leadership is not about being somebody, but it's about taking a step forward. For me to leave you and say, let me go stock, let me go, you're taking the lead. After you've taken the lead, then you market and brand yourself. You must say, okay, who am I, the way you talk, who you talk to and everything like that. Once you've done all those, you move to networking. So when it comes to networking, the people velvet salesmen, you know, I used to laugh and say, oh you're married. This guy can sell ice to Eskimos.
That's what I'm saying. You're good with your network.
But again, it's back to what I used to say. Have positive and good mentors. Those mentors, I would look at them and what they do and stuff to say, I love that skill and harness it. And if I'm passionate about something, you do something about it, you speak. It's like, do something about it. So once you have that passion, you go to know, man, I'm feeling this hunger, I must go to open that for you, go everywhere. And for me, I've been so lucky. The names are endless, as you said. We've met people recently also, whether being Lebo M, who also is working with us as a patron. You've got Putima Hanyela. You've got so many people who've come and brought to say, we love your passion and we love what you're doing. Wow. But again, they always say at the end is luck. But luck, one good friend of mine used to say it's opportunity plus preparedness. Yeah. If you're there,
I would vouch for that.
Yes. If you're not prepared and the opportunity comes, you won't do anything. So by the time I figure about we love what you're doing, send us a profile. We've got a profile. Oh, can we come see you? Yes, they're rehearsing there. Be there, go to always. Whether there's times go to Nemala or Namali, the show goes on. You must just make sure.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, there's a question I had. It kind of slapped my mind. Okay. It actually it came back. Sure. With the times that we are in, like just like COVID hit us, we need to be able to be integrated with technology. So with the mission of SSM to keep it alive with the technology in place, what are the plans do you have with things like technology, keeping your audience aware, because not everybody can attend your performances, maybe social media. What are the plans? Are you in those space for those who are not aware?
As I said, technology, I'm fortunate enough, so I'll speak
IT
into
guy.
internally because of the little knowledge. But IT, the thing about it, if you have I think my certificate was 2007, it's irrelevant now. Then Besakulumukuti wireless is the fastest thing. Today fiber is the fastest thing, so it moves. So, but internal, I would say the systems, they help to grow internally because use IT system, as I said. Whether you're gonna use Zoom, Microsoft Teams, and everything, everybody's virtual meetings now. Whether you're gonna use Google Classrooms to do your lessons, to leave your work for your students there. People are creating apps now to monitor my lessons, to do schedules for parents and everything. We're using WhatsApp to chat. So that's internally. We're using almost everything which we can get our hands off. Externally, on all social media platforms. You are there. Whether you're saying now we're building up our YouTubes thanks to you. So Born Beautiful is there also with us. We're building up our YouTube. I've got Instagram, which is running smoothly and so beautifully. I enjoy. Sometimes I just sit and watch the work that we do and I feel amazed. We've got Twitter is there. We've got Facebook there. So again, it's that thing of saying, make yourself represented in all social media platforms and stuff, because we're not only marketing to just our community or to South Africa, but to the global world. So that's where one day you want to see where we're doing exchange programs. So don't necessarily to a Hamburg exchange and a school there in the USA where they go play music there. So
that's cultural exchange
through technology. That's how the only thing can get us. Because if you don't do that, how are they going to know without technology? So we are present in all social media platforms, and in all of them, SSM Music and Arts, nothing else.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And then again, with moving forward with SSM. People who are now maybe aware since we did this interview who will be interested in your shows, maybe not the whole schedule, maybe you can give us a forecast of what's the next maybe event you're going to be attending. And also on that, if you can tell us the biggest achievement that you have achieved in this road of SSM that you say, not to say others they don't count, but the paramount one that you
paramount
say.
one.
Yo,
there's many paramounts, but it's fine. But I think starting with your first question, I think people, if they said go to our social media pages, every event we do is got a poster, unless it's an external client event. But all internal events, like now we've got upcoming camp is in September, but we've got media showcase. We usually do it in July. A celebration concert, Mandela celebration concert we're planning something for Heritage Festival. We've partnered with some institutions like Abo National School of Arts and El Makar and Houston Student to collaborate with the orchestra to do an event which is also upcoming. We've got a camp, as I said, in September. Then we've got our concert in Soshanguve and another one here and another one in Soweto, another one we're doing in Mpumalanga. So there's many concerts coming up. But I would say to people, because Nyang is just but always be, if you're in your social media pages, whether Facebook or Instagram, depends on your preference.
You'll be able to see.
And then you'll see there's posters. We've got beautiful, poster. You'd say good. It's done by people who've got degrees in design. But we've got nice posters and brilliant images. You'll see them there. And then, and the highest highlight, whoa, that's a tough one. But we've hit a lot of milestones. I think for me, it's not about getting to a place, but it's to push. One I always remember is, I think the year before last, where we managed to take about 27 kids to Cape Town. Attended the Windworks Festival. Funny enough, I attended it in 2014. I used to be part of the Johannesburg Youth Orchestra. I was just a player, the new student. I went and again, never stop learning. It boils back to that. I went to Joe and say, no guys, I want to be an orchestra member, but I run a music company. I'm here to learn how to run because on what happens. So I was there to learn. So I was participated fully, auditions, everything. I went there to learn. Then later on, an opportunity come. Windworks Festival in Cape Town. Windworks is where we've got wind players, bongama, flute, clarinet, whatever. But plus minus 600 players gather there. So we attended. I said no, and it was 2 months before. We're going to Cape Town. Fundraise, push, and fundraiser. Luckily, God willing, we had 27 guys, and we were there for like 3 to 4 days. And for me, that was amazing to say we could manage to take about 27 people to Cape Town. Most of them being for the first time in Cape Town. And we performed so well that they even wanted us. Every year they want us back there. This year we're supposed to also be there.
How were the students when they came back?
If you can see, even now. And for me now, so they, even if it was bad for Kim, we were stuck for 18 hours at Kimberley.
What happened? What happened at Kimberley? Was it in the middle of nowhere?
Nah, at least we were in a garage. That's why the stage was here, so we kept eating. But again, it was because of the bus we chose, it went down and everything like that. But the experience for them to say, actually, this thing I'm playing, which is a violin or a flute, can get me to
Into
Cape Town
these
and perform
places,
in Cape Town and come back so applauded in Cape Town just by doing this thing. For me, that was the biggest highlight.
Yeah.
But the other second highlight, which we are working towards it, but to a point where every month you get to have an institution in this day and age where people are losing jobs tough. But I can say at least 50 rand or something. It helps. It goes a long way. At some point, they were doing it for free for nothing.
Yeah.
But at some point, whatever little you can say, you're giving somebody through the institution. And again, you've got people who are doing this because of the passion.
Yeah.
It didn't go but humble by Sfiso Msiza or Yoba Yini, but I'm passionate about this thing and I'm trying to create something for you out of this thing. So also that, we're still raising funds to get to a point where at least everybody who's employed by SSM can have a basic minimum salary.
Wonderful.
That's what we're pushing for. But also I think that's one of the biggest highlights. You've got people who come in Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, and they're pushing to make sure the ship is moving forward.
Wonderful. And then with this journey, what I've seen, I don't like to put race in it, but it's a question that I have. With my experience, it's rare to see black kids playing orchestra.
Yes.
It's mostly the other races.
Yeah.
So with this journey, do you see most black kids coming into the same institutions like yours, whereby they learn orchestra? Because it's not dominant. Because you were in Soweto where we met. You in Soweto, where I'm from, we don't really have things like orchestra. Where you can just randomly go. Even as a Soweto theatre, I wasn't aware that actually you guys, you're there doing the most.
Yeah.
So with that being said, do you think is it because of the background that creates that gap between the black race and other races being dominant to orchestra, or it's a matter of not understanding the music itself, of playing violins? Not because I wanted to ask you also of how your crowds receives you. See, when you're doing your plow bags or community stuff in your local community compared to the elite class where they hire you for that classical music, do they receive you the same, or it's always a difference in it?
Yeah, I think it's a good question actually. I don't want to go too deep in it, but what I would say is that the same motto we've created SSM Word is it was to break the barrier.
Yeah.
The breaking the barrier means that to give equal opportunity. No lie, we live in South Africa, we know that. That's why you have politicians, some it's fine. But they're fighting, they call it equal opportunity.
Yeah.
There's opportunities where I ask you to say, why is Umdwana, whether every township where you learn, music is not a priority. But everywhere you study, private school, music is a fundamental. I was speaking to parents that they watch this, there's a soapy they watch on TV, and we were laughing about it. If you check there, as kids in the suburb schools, it's a prerequisite to do music or to do any activity, sports, swimming or something like that. Tina, we do not disregard, And I was saying with music again, we'll have another discussion one day maybe about this, but to understand that music deals with the brain. When you study, the brain works on one side, your left side, when it's your books, your reading, whatever. But when you work on the other side, which is the vibrant side, that's the music, side, the creative side. So music adds to that. So once you work on your creative, you work on this, that, then you've got a balance thinking. Then you've got people who can think outside of the box. Trust me, you must ask people who play a piano organ. Yeah. Organist would play 4 parts at the same time. The legs are playing, he's reading 4 parts there at the same time. He's changing what the tempo, the stops must change. You're just multitasking and you're playing fast, but it does something to the brain when it comes to creativity. So most of the time we lack when it comes to creativity, mostly also as a black nation. That counts. So music is one of the elements where, as I can tell you, most of the guys who are doing music, even from our kids, we've got some of our kids who are at NSA, we've got some of our kids who are Fundikas, whatever. Most of them, in terms of marks, they come in better than most. So for us, music was one way of also fighting what is happening within our community to bring positive impact. But again, as you're saying, yes, within our black society, is still a bit difficult. We still have those struggles where parents can say, "Go to music class namhlanje." At I ngithi wayengazange ayimambe kathi ngiye-Shoprite. Mawuthi music kathi hayi lo dlala modlala into zawudlala. So they see it as like it's not a serious thing. And for me, speaking from my parent, I came ngithi after matric ngifuna ukuyoqala business in music and go teach. They were like, hayi akusumsebenzi lo hamba ufuna degree and thola umsebenzi. You know, when I resigned from my job, my dad doesn't get it from today. My mom got it at some point. Ubaba uyabona makuzimali uthi maybe umsebenzi lento le, because he was like uyeke umsebenzi uyodlala lento zakho zokwenzelani, you know.
They think it's a conditioning.
We had a fight. We had a big fight to say, because they wanted you angisho njengoba benza abazali. I did everything. Yenza grade 12 ngayipass. Iba ne-degree ngaba thola umsebenzi ngathola umsebenzi, thenga indlu ngathenga indlu, iba nemoto ngaba nemoto, ngathi ngavala konke. Then they couldn't understand, but for me I would understand where this was coming from. But today I'm reviving. Yes, I lost a house, yes, I lost a car, but now I'm gaining. There's another car I've got now, and we're building towards so all I'm saying to say, Guti, music is still not seen in the black community as something productive, and especially for children. But again, when it comes to our white fellow counterparts, they see the importance of this creative need, and that's why they pay a lot of money. There are people who just go there, but mostly to the best professor. Another professor was sharing with us, and I charges about 1,950 for 20 minutes. Per 20 minutes. Your session for 20 minutes is about 2,000 rands. And he's got students that, I'm full even now. Can't take any students because it's always full. Good. And they're doing music. So that's why I'm saying that element of saying it's getting also our black people and our black girls to see the importance of music. So, and also try to put structure to it so that we see. So it's about pushing it we won't make it equal, but the little impact I can do, or the little impact we can do as SSM Music Arts, at least we're starting to see fruits. If one day Musa and I got a degree in music and go work somewhere, if someday we've got an orchestra which is fully paid, if one day we've got a wind band fully paid, one day we've got a company which employs a lot of trainers who are teaching music, we will afford the goal. And that impact, because we've got now 22 employees, but now they're dealing, SSM deals with about plus minus 400 people every month. That impact we make into the 400 people to go make it elsewhere, it will also impact in their studies. So that's a positiveness we're trying to push to a black child, basically.
Aye, that's beautiful. Say, I umlomo. With your answer. Wow. I don't know, like you've said mouthful. I don't know if we have left out anything that you would want to say to our viewers. A bit more about SSM, or I believe, is that all?
I think I'll never stop. We must never not open a platform, but no, it's fine. And in summative ways, I said, man, this has been a journey. It's been a journey every month, every day, and you wake up to it. And I'm thankful I've got a very supportive wife. I've got a very supportive family who supports my passion, who said, no, fuel this passion. I've got beautiful mentors and supporters, as I've said, whether Sisputi, whether the board. I've got one of the best chairmen everybody can ever be. My chairman of the board has been there since our first concert in 2009, since
loyalty
in Kokota. And I said I knock. He was he was a chief operations officer. I used to just knock. Someone and say, I want to do this, and he'll give me his time and listen and stuff. Dr. Sandile Ndlongwane, and I've got a very supportive board. So because of that, SSM has become an holistic institution, but we still need support. We still need support, but we're still also open to the public. As I've said, for those in Soweto, we are based at the Soweto Jabulani Safe Hub. Proteo based a Copesa there. Here in town, obviously, when you say Marriage Institute, you'll find it there. We've got a high school choir here, tertiary choir. Also in Middleburg, as I said, Nasem Balentle, Nasa Soshanguve Church, Nasema G, and Nelspred, we're doing something for Sfiso Music Academy, which is VMA. This project we're doing all over Nelspred, don't go to Nyamazan, saying now. But we're spreading the love and spreading the positivity of music. And trust you me, when you see these guys perform, the excitement, it's like me when first time I went to, I think I was speaking or something, And they actually paid me. I was like, oh my guys, this is too much. I mean, I was there, I enjoyed, I'm performing for these people, and then you wanna pay me? It's that excitement, but you don't even want money for it.
Yeah.
So, but all I'm saying to anybody, support. If there's a friend or parent who says want to do music, support them. Support their journey to say, oh, I know SSM, go study violin there, go ask about learning an instrument there. If you know good, arts and culture, there's an event or there's a certain funding there, support to say, no, here's some funding which we can assist you. If there's corporate, you say, oh, there's a corporate event or there's a corporate support we can issue. Yes, there's a corporate that will come and perform any event or stuff like that. But all I'm saying, it does not matter whoever, even if you don't understand, whoever's patient or challenge, I'm passionate about it, support them. There's so many people come, they're not for music. But I hear the patient, they're like, okay, let me hear you, let me see how I can support you. But if you have that kind of an information which supports, and from supporting, we network, from networking, we are there for one another. This country will be a better place. And with us, music and arts, who does not sing? I mean, whether official uyacula, whether story bukelo uyacula, umshadweni uyacula, ngiyakhala, ngiyacula emngcwabeni, niyalwa niyacula.
Music is everywhere.
Music is life. Yeah. So we are there to say we are giving out life. So also through people like you, through everything we're doing, we can only grow every more, day by day.
Wonderful.
So, but yeah, for me, I think no.
Last question I would ask is, do you think maybe having more music centers in our local communities, would it increase the awareness, or it comes down to the person or kids who are passionate about it?
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't say yes and then to have centers that are empty, because there's centers that are empty in our locals that were supposed to be accommodating music. As you said, our black community don't really see the importance of music. It's the other people. So would you say having more, would it increase the awareness of music, even orchestra, or is it the lack of centers, or the youth is not interested?
Yeah. Okay.
In your judgment,
I think for me, lack of support and resources.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing. Support and resources. But again, the more we have them, the better. As I've told you, Uti, go to any private school and count how many don't have music lessons there. Where are we going to get to the part where every community or school ekasi sine music being taught within the school? You've got, I think PJ Simelani does that. I think most of the do choirs, but install it first within. It doesn't have to be every community or whatever, but start within the schools. And I'm telling you, because now I speak from fact. The CEO of my Irish Institute was a concert pianist. He plays the silver flute. I was speaking, surprised by another CEO I was having a conversation with. He used to play violin. There was a professor, Besnayo Unisa. He was a professional celloist. Those guys mostly who take up big and good leadership, we went to one of the former house of Uputeza said the husband plays piano. And so they do music. It helps a lot. If you want to educate, it's not just Umdana is 1 + 1 is 2, but also all the other extra-mutual activities. So yes, it will be have a better community if almost every community has got not even just music, but a creative center, a lively arts center. Because the resources, that's why when I speak about resources, that so many people have got passion to do this. And it's not only about SSM. I always say to people, the pie is big enough. Whether SSM or another school or whatever, as long, whether you're doing karate, whether you're doing theater, whether you're doing music, but I say do something. Don't be idle. That's why we now have community full of idle people back in Nabashis or Bainzanbada. So I'm saying, Guti, we just need the government also to give us the resources sometimes. Sometimes we just need, like us, a space to rehearse to. Nothing much. We just need, don't give us money, but just get us instruments for the kids. We just want music stuff. So to put the resources at play, that's all we're saying. We want to keep the centers lively. Give them sports equipment. Give them whatever they need. So we do need more in terms of, we don't have more than enough, but we need more extra mutual activity. We run, sorry to stretch it, but as I said, speaking about Copesa, we went there to do, it's in a park. That park, the discussion we're having there, a lot of young kids after school, but they do this thing called, I don't know what they call it, but they take a cough mixture, mix it with Sprite or whatever.
Yeah.
You find that, or the famous thing. There's a lot of, in the park, there's everywhere. That's all they ever do. They come back, they do those things in the park. They do. So everywhere you got parks, but I'm a park and the people who doing stuff, and there's a young people. So because they don't have spaces, and we are fighting to put containers and make them active for after school, to have arts there, to have music there, to have sports there. We don't have enough. The more we can have that to a young black person or to any young person, to give them that positivity. Not Jablan Safe Up where there's a swimming pool, but it's been empty, I don't know for how many years. And it's the only swimming pool there and around. If we do more swimming centers, there's a reality to say, if you've got more centers which can supply what they're supplying each and every community, we will have a better young people. We'll have better communities. We'll have better positive young people out of there, which is the ultimate goal. We're just doing a small thing in our corner. But what is 400 young people compared to how many millions we've got in South Africa?
That's great, Sure. Wonderful. I think as I stretch him, could have said a mouthful. Whoever who's watching, probably they got the message also of what's needed to push the mission for structuring society through music and art. I'm your host, Sfiso Msiza. Thank you, sir, for coming through.
Wow.
The founder of SSM. Thank you. I'm your host. Look out for more with SSM Podcast. This is our first episode. Thank you so much.